The traditional rivalries of North London exposed to new levels of intensity by George Graham's return as the boss of Tottenham and Arsenal's 5-0 thrashing in midweek by Chelsea. The home supporters are relieved that the most dependable gunner of all, Tony Adams, is back to bolster their defence. The man first picked out as an Arsenal captain by George Graham for his leadership qualities. Well, this is still not quite a first-choice Arsenal 11. Dennis Bergkamp aggravated an ankle in that Worthington Cup tie. Fredrik Ljungberg is his replacement. Spurs might have enjoyed their best ever win at Liverpool in midweek, but George Graham has picked a different team to cope today. David Ginola is a substitute. The more defence-minded Justin Edinburgh replaces Andy Sinton at wing-back, and Chris Armstrong comes into the attack. And the boos ring out around Highbury as the home support get their first view of the manager who crossed the line. Back as the boss of arch-rivals Tottenham, Arsenal's most successful ever manager. What a day for him. Alan Wilkie is the referee and, if necessary, the peacekeeper. They've been contesting top dog in North London for 90 years, and sometimes the passions of the occasion have detracted from the football. Well, Arsene Wenger's decision to play largely a reserve team in midweek backfired badly. It's now a question for Arsenal of rebuilding confidence. Vieira to Parla. Petit, neatly done by Arsenal. A bit more pace in the attack. Oh, it was well struck. Corner. Superb strike by the Frenchman. Really testing Espen Baardsen. Keon's up from the back. Adams is in there as well. Headed up by Calderwood. Off the forehead of the Tottenham man. Close to an own goal by Calderwood. Here's Overmars. Watched by Darren Anderton. Oh, that dipped awkwardly in front of Baardsen, and he did well to turn it behind for the corner. Overmars, the man at the moment who's carrying the threat for Arsenal. Ray Parlour with the corner. Adams is at the back post. Punched away by Baardsen. Petit gets it down. In by Vieira. Scales with the clearance. George Graham has come here as a visiting manager and enjoyed success. A Leeds team that defeated Arsenal 1-0 in an FA Cup tie in February '97. That might fall very nicely for Anelka. He's got a clear sight of Baardsen. And the 19-year-old will be disappointed with his finish, having scored 6 in his last 7 games. Didn't force Tottenham's keeper to make a save. Martin Keown comes forward. Parlour. There's not a lot of help. And he's given it away to Armstrong, who's got Keown backpedaling. Everson does very well. Here's Everson, the first chance for Tottenham. Beaten away by David Seaman. Some dogged and persistent play by Stefan Everson. And the Arsenal keeper, having been largely a spectator so far, forced to make the important save. It was right at him. Ray Parlour. Vieira. Winterburn. Might try the left foot. Too hot to hold at the first attempt. Well, the next goal for Nigel Winterburn will complete the dozen that he will have scored as an Arsenal player in 523 appearances. Here's Winterburn. Not where Anelka wanted it. Straight into touch by Bardson. Dixon will take the throw. Vieira, Petit. Lundberg. Oh, it's a good strike. Bardson saves his team again. Arsenal corner, which Petit will take. Keown is up, so too is Adams. That was out by Vega. Espen Bardson, 21 next month, showing us in this first half why he's displaced Ian Walker as Tottenham's #1. Adams, flicked on by Lundberg. Ray Parlour brings Dixon into it. Anelka! It's a hat-trick of splendid first-half saves by Espen Bardson. What a great strike it was by Anelka. Adams. Parlour on the chase. Doesn't get the better of Sol Campbell, but it's a corner, and we're deep into time, which the referee has added on for stoppages. And certainly Arsenal have shaded it in this first half, and maybe unfortunate not to be a goal ahead, as Petit takes the corner. It's goalless at half-time, but it's Arsenal who will go off in the more confident mood. But for the saves of Espen Bardson, Arsenal could be 1, 2, maybe even 3 goals ahead. 3 excellent saves from the Tottenham goalkeeper, just one at the opposite end from David Seaman. But in truth, a typical North London derby, fast and frantic. Only Petit, really, the player in the centre of the park, who looked calm and cool in the heat of the situation. Half-time here at Highbury, Arsenal 0, Tottenham 0. This fixture was 0-0 last season, the 5th goalless draw in the last 13 seasons. Let's hope that this is not the 6th, that the half-time fine-tuning does finally produce a goal. High kick by David Seaman, won by Vega. Flicked on by Vieira, that's John Scales. Keown to Tony Adams, closed down by Armstrong. Lee Dixon. Maybe it wouldn't be a surprise if a game in which both defences were fashioned by George Graham did ultimately end without a goal. Petit, oh, it's brilliant. If there was any player on the field who looked as if he might unlock things, it's Arsenal's number 17, Petit. But here's Armstrong for Tottenham. Again, he's got a lack of support, and if there was somebody up there with him, Tottenham might have fashioned the game's winning chance. There just weren't enough players in support. Armstrong had done all the hard work, and he deserved to look across and see a white shirt. Adams, Petit, nice touch by Petit to Vieira. Back to Petit. Here's the man who might unlock things for Anelka. Just forced him a little wide. The back heel for Parlour. Strong challenge by Vega. and Tottenham have survived. Carr. Oh, it was short. Stolen by Winterburn from Anderton. Lundberg's touch just wasn't good enough. And Tottenham have Vega down injured in the penalty area, and they were caught without defenders. There were two Arsenal men unmarked in that penalty area, and it just needed Lundberg to control that, and surely Arsenal would have taken the lead. Christopher Ray is the player who will come on to, maybe not surprisingly, replace Fredrik Lundberg. Well, surely there's got to be a goal eventually. Here's Ray, the substitute, just on. Anelka forced to come outside the penalty area. Gets the better of Campbell. Ray, out by Calderwood. Ray Parler, Vieira. That's dipping. Tottenham now appear fully committed to the job of holding on to what they have, which is a goalless scoreline against Arsene Wenger's Arsenal side. Winterburn. For Ray Parler arriving, Bardson came off his line. Groans around Highbury. Keown. Parler feeds it out to Lee Dixon. Christopher Ray. Here's Ray. Anelka. Good turn, Anelka. Oh, side netting. Arsenal continue to do everything but score. An excellent turn by the teenage Frenchman. But from Arsenal's point of view, the wrong side of the post. And still, we await the game's first goal. Adams, Winterburn. It's largely one-way traffic at the moment. And that's intended for Overmars. Bardson's come off his line, and he got the block. So it was the right decision. Parler to Vieira. Boamorte. Petit just checking that the space was around him. Here's Christopher Ray. It was aimed at the bottom corner. The bounce made it more awkward to deal with, but Bardson proving again to be unbeatable. And there's not much longer for Tottenham to hold on. Well, you've got to get corners past the first defender. Tony Adams coming forward as the final minutes tick off, and it's still without a goal. Overmars weaving and turning. Left foot shot was blocked. And the follow-up shot by Tony Adams was likewise saved. Here's Everson. Dixon tries to haul him back. Tottenham threatening to steal it at the death from the informed striker. Lee Dixon having a full grip of his shirt. A fact that wasn't spotted by Alan Wilkie. More satisfaction for Tottenham and George Graham than for Arsene Wenger and Arsenal. At times, much of what went on this afternoon at Highbury might have come from a defensive training manual. But Tottenham's new defensive spirit was there for all to see, and really exemplified by the performance of their goalkeeper, Espen Baardsen, who looked unbeatable from the start of the match, and so it proved at its conclusion. A succession of shots that Arsenal rained in on him, but the young Norwegian, who was born in the United States, kept a clean sheet for the 4th time this season, and Tottenham will leave Highbury with a point and a great deal of satisfaction. 0-0, the final score.
I don't think you were, isn't he?
George will be very happy with that, won't he? I mean, getting that point there today.
Well, absolutely chuffed, yes. I mean, I think, you know, generally speaking, you can see the change in just a month. I've seen quite a lot of them, you know, defensively, they've got numbers back. Vega and Scales are trying to prove their worth. Sol Campbell is, you know, an ideal person to build a foundation on. They're working very hard in midfield. And, of course, Baardsen played exceptionally well today. And, I mean, he's a very good shot saver. Perhaps not particularly so strong on crosses and perhaps selection coming out. Because, of course, in midweek, he made an error, didn't he, against Liverpool. With, and I think on the floor, with it, when he's using his feet, he's perhaps not quite as strong. But when he's got to get down to shots, I mean, that one's to his left, you know, really stretched well because it was skimming. This one takes a slight deflection off Vega and, again, you know, pushed it well past the post. I think the one just before half-time, which was very important, Anelka volleys it with a lot of power. I think either side of him he might have struggled, but he reacted well. And even early in the one with Overmars, when he was bearing in on goal, he wondered whether to come. Once he'd made his mind up, he stood his ground well, and there was no angle which, in fact, Overmars could have scored. Again, there was Morte coming in, pushed it well away. It wasn't a case of just knocking it in front of him. And late on, even Tony Adams trying to get on and the act. And I thought Baardsen did very well. But generally speaking, Spurs, I think, you know, going to be a good cup side this year. They're showing that at the moment. Yep. Perhaps a chance in Europe, but you know, as far as man-to-man with Arsenal, you've got to say Arsenal have got the better players, but George has already made a difference.
And the defence that George built at Arsenal is still going strong, isn't it? I mean, they're still there and played superbly today.
Well, in midweek, I mean, they had a shadow defence, didn't they? Conceded 5 goals. The first choice one has only, what, 5 goals in 13 league games. It's fantastic, really. You know, the worry is that they're going to get all together. Then, you know, got Steve Bold, of course, waiting in the wings, same age group. But, you know, those 5 and Seaman at the back just give them such a solid base, and they were superb. I mean, Seaman, I mentioned it because although he wasn't busy today, you know, you've got to keep your concentration. That one from Everson, you know, an important save, and he's a great one to have at the back. Then this is the defence, really, the back 4, and then you've got Vieira and Petit in front of them. They work so well as a unit. Everyone knows what their job is. Anderton clips a dangerous ball in here. You can see Keown backpedaling. He heads it from the danger initially. As they go to Clays and down, Edinburgh does well, and who's backpedaling there? Tony Adams. And as the ball hanging there, they all pounce, and I mean, there's no space then for Anderton to get the shot in. And that unit, you know, at the back 4, and then this pair, Petit and Vieira. I mean, Petit just seems to have this space. Look at that little left foot, and he just dinks it square. He was great. And I mean, Vieira's equally strong. And here, Winterburn going back towards his own defence. Adams lays it to Keown. They're playing the ball out far better than they perhaps did 2 or 3 years ago. You know, that back 4 now really do distribute the ball well, and Nelka should finish that. And I think that is the next problem.
Well, it is a problem for them, isn't it? Because they've got everything up till there, but they're not scoring, are they, Arsenal? No. 14 goals, is it, in 13 or something?
Yeah. I mean, no Dennis Bergkamp today, but he hasn't played well this year, and he's got his injury problems. Without him, Nelka has been progressing well, but they played Overmars through the middle, who I don't think is as effective there. They switched him in about the sort of last 20 minutes out wide on the left and brought Ray on. But, you know, when you think, Alan was mentioning Manchester United's reserves, the forwards that they can bring on, that for me is the difference. So, and although they're well placed in the league, if they could start scoring goals, they'd be up there at the top.
Okay. Well, as you know, Liverpool and Roy Evans parted company this week. Once again, Hansen was overlooked for any kind of job at Anfield.
I thought overall,
Steve Lee and Gary Richardson with those games. Now, the table, Aston Villa lead by 3 points after their biggest win of the season. 12 games without defeat represents the club's best start to a league campaign ever. Manchester United move above Arsenal into 2nd. Chelsea climb to 4th. They're unbeaten in any competition since the opening day of the season. The other end, no change at the foot. Southampton remain 2 points adrift. Blackburn couldn't improve their position either. Nottingham Forest play Derby on Monday, and Coventry meet Everton tomorrow.